Before we get into some of the editing features in Camtasia Studio, I thought it would be helpful to give you a general overview of the different parts of the interface. Let's start with the timeline. This is where you assemble and edit your video. The top left of the timeline contains a toolbar of some helpful buttons that you'll probably use often. First are the undo and redo buttons, so you don't have to be nervous about making mistakes. Next are buttons to cut, copy, and paste selections of clips on the timeline, and a split button that allows you to split clips so you can insert other recordings, transitions, and other media between the clips. Use the zoom option to magnify the view of the timeline. This really helps with editing as it lets you make more precise cuts and selections. As you build your video and add different elements, some are displayed on separate tracks on the timeline. For example, the video track currently contains the Camtasia recording file, but will also display title clips, images, and other video clips. The Audio 1 track contains the voice narration recorded during the screen recording, and the Zoom track present shows the Smart Focus keyframes that were automatically added. You'll learn more about Smart Focus in the next video in this series. Here is the Tracks menu, where you can show and hide different tracks on the timeline. You'll notice that some tracks are independent of each other and have a lock icon displayed to the left. Lock the track you don't want affected when editing another track. The playhead moves along the timeline and indicates the current frame displayed in the preview window above. One tip while working on the timeline is that depending on which track or area of the timeline you right-click on, a context menu appears with many shortcut options to speed up editing. Now let's check out the clip bin area. Along the bottom of this area are a set of tabs. The clip bin tab is selected and is kind of like the home tab for all of them. The clip bin holds all of the video, audio, and image files that are being used in the current project. Import new media to use in your project by clicking this button. Click and drag individual clips from the clip bin to the timeline to build your video. The next tab over is the library. The library holds a variety of elements that can be carried over and used in future projects, so you don't have to re-import them for every project. Camtasia Studio comes with a variety of pre-populated media files in your library, and you can add your own at any time. The rest of the tabs are for adding or editing special effects to your video. Expand the More button to view additional features to use. To make a new recording, click the Record the Screen button. And when you're finished editing your project, click the Produce and Share button to produce your video into a number of different shareable formats. And just like most other applications, all features and settings for Camtasia Studio can be accessed from the menu bar. The final area of this tour is the preview window. The preview window is where you see your video during playback. Here are the playback controls and a helpful time code. Scrub through the video to quickly locate a specific segment. Notice that the scrubber and playhead on the timeline always move in sync. Change the view from shrink to fit or 100% scale from this menu, or revisit the editing dimensions to change the width and height of your video. Right above the preview window is where you can find additional help. Click the light bulb icon to visit our Learning Center for video and written tutorials, or the question mark help icon to access the in-product help file. That about does it for the overview of the editor. The next tutorial in this series will show you how to apply Smart Focus to your video to help viewers see the most important content on the screen.